Today, we're going to review Skill 6, Lesson 7. Let's look at learning targets. I can segment and blend two-syllable words with up to 7 phonemes. I can read sentences where pronouns are substituted for nouns. I can identify which noun a pronoun is replacing and write the pronouns in blank spaces. I can read The Picnic by the River and answer questions about key details in the story. We're going to blend segments. The word is classroom. Classroom. The first syllable is class. The syllable is room. Together we have the word classroom. Your turn. Blend and segment these two words. Feel free to pause the video. Cardboard. Pancake. Backpack. Hometown. Let's review our learning targets again. I can segment and blend two-syllable words with up to 7 phonemes. I can read sentences where pronouns are substituted for nouns. I can identify which noun a pronoun is replacing and write the pronouns in blank spaces. I can read The Picnic by the River and answer questions about key details in the story. Let's read these two sentences. Kate went on a trip. She was sad at the start of the trip. Let's look at the word she. Who is this word describing? Kate. In many instances, we can replace the noun with another word. These are called pronouns. In this example, she is a pronoun taking the place of the noun Kate. Kate met Jack in the coin shop. He was an expert on coins. Let's look at the word he. Who is the word he describing? Jack. That's right. In many instances, we can replace the noun with another word. In this example, he is a pronoun taking the place of the noun Jack. Kate had found a coin. It was made of silver. It. What is the word it describing? The coin. He, she, and it are all pronouns. Listen as I read sentences and replace a noun with the pronoun. Jeff had a party. He invited the class. Who invited the class? Jeff. Jane loved dresses. She wore them all the time. Who wore them all the time? That's right, Jane. I had a new pen. It was blue. What was blue? The pen. Very good. Take out your Skill 6 workbook and turn to activity page 7.1 on page 31. Underline the pronouns and draw a connecting line from each pronoun to the noun it replaces. Then write the pronouns on the line below. Let's look at number 1. Kate is 9. She wrote a book. She is the pronoun, so I underlined it. She is describing the noun Kate, so I drew a curved arrow back to Kate. And I wrote the word she on the line. Your turn. Complete the rest independently. Be sure to do the back. Today's story is about some surprise visitors that show up at Grace's family picnic. In the story, you'll see spellings. The sound spelled with C in the words Grace, Spencer, Race, and Center. You'll see the sound spelled CE in the words voice and glanced. You'll see the sound spelled SE in the word rinsed. You'll see the sound spelled ED in the words picked, stuffed, axed, brushed, and slipped. Here are some two-syllable words that you will see. Picnic, basket, summer, river, chicken, and cupcake. Let's review some core vocabulary words. Picnic. A picnic is a meal eaten outdoors. Brushed. To brush against something means to lightly move it and quickly. Glance. To glance means to look quickly. Let's read today's story to find out who visited Grace's picnic.
Last Spencer's had a picnic basket filled with food. It was all sorts of good things. Chicken wing, grapes, chips. Mr. Spencer set it down. Jill went for a swim. After their swim, the children raced back to the spot where the picnic basket was. When they got there were ants marching down the side of their picnic basket. The ants were marching off with some of the food. The Spencers had set their basket down next to the center of a big anthill. "Yikes!" shouted Grace in a loud voice. "Who asked those ants to this picnic?" Mr. Spencer picked up the picnic basket and brushed off the ants. Much of the food was in plastic bags, so it was safe from the ants. Grace and Jill rinsed off the grapes after they brushed off the rest of the ants. The Spencers sat down and ate. This time they sat far from the center of the anthill. After lunch, Mr. Spencer asked, "Should we pack up our stuff and get back to the farm?" "Not yet," said Grace and glanced back at the anthill. She smiled and slipped some bits of cupcake and ham into her pocket. Then she ran to the anthill. She set the bits of cupcake and ham on the ground next to the anthill. "There," she said. "That will be lunch for the ants. I think ants are cool when they are not crawling on our basket."
What did Grace discover when she returned from swimming? Ants were marching on the picnic basket. Where had the Spencers set down their picnic baskets? They placed the picnic basket next to the center of the anthill. Why did Grace set bits of cupcake and ham on the ground next to the anthill? Tell someone next to you what you think. What does this tell you about Grace? What kinds of words could you use to describe Grace? This tells us that Grace is nice and caring because she wants to make sure the ants have lunch too. Some of the words we could use to describe her are kind, generous, thoughtful, and nice. Reread Mr. Spencer and the Rabbits on activity page 7.2. Let's review our learning targets. I can segment and blend two-syllable words with up to 7 phonemes. I can read sentences where pronouns are substituted for nouns. I can identify which noun a pronoun is replacing and write the pronouns in the blank spaces. I can read The Picnic by the River and answer questions about key details in the story. Happy learning!